one confirmed air-to-air kill. It was an F-18 in Syria in 2017, shot down what I'm assuming was basically the Red Baron's plane. It was like Snoopy was flying the plane that they shot down.
A MiG that was built
it was a
in
doghouse. Yeah.
Yeah, they should brought the MiGs back.
And fucking Tom Cruise has 3 in this movie. He fucking splashes 3 bogeys in this movie, bringing his all-time kill count up to 5.
He's an ace.
Yeah, he's an ace.
He's Eddie Rickenbacker over here.
You guys
it's revealing, isn't it, that like he shoots down 3 planes in the first movie and that's it. Like you get to this movie 35 years later, he's still only shot down 3 planes.
Apparently,
we haven't fucking had any opportunity to do that.
He bombed the hell out of Bosnia and Iraq. They point out. So he did that. He was not doing dogfighting. Yeah, we just gloss over all of the. It's like how in the Minions movie they show the Minions like being like the loyal allies of the worst evil figures of the era, and then in the 30s they go to Antarctica to just hang out for 30 years because they don't want to have the Minions serving Hitler. It's like, and then Maverick did cool dogfights. You know, it's like Knights of the Sky stuff. You know, then some depleted uranium shell, you know, hospital, you know, if you
Yada yada, you know,
music
town
weddings,
water supply, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, Baghdad's water supply.
What's always so funny to me is like both Top Guns are like about bringing back the lost art of dogfighting. But if you've ever gone to like the Smithsonian World War II exhibit and you look at a German pilot, they have like 700 kills, and an American pilot will have like 40. Like the difference is it's not a big American thing, which is kind of funny that it's become like the lost art of dogfighting, because the American air power has always been about bombing. That is the only reason that America has an air force, is to bomb as an independent strategitic mission. So Top Gun is always like out of time. It always feels a little dreamy, you know, it's very much in that Tom Cruise space.
Yes.
And actually, that reminds me of like I can think of one American war movie, or like one that comes to mind that's specifically about bomber pilots rather than fighter pilots, and they make it a point of pride. Is John Milius's Flight of the Intruder with Willem Dafoe and Danny Glover, about the illegal bombing of Hanoi during Vietnam. And there's a scene where the main character goes, "Fighters get the glory, but bombers make history." And, you know, like, that's true. Like, that is how we win wars, is fucking saturation bombing. It's not, there is scenes in Top Gun, in both Top Guns, where planes are, like, flying at 700 miles an hour, firing bullets at each other. Bullets in the air. And like, it's a straight up 1v1.
Is that, like, the war we actually fight in the air is the relentless bombing campaign that kills tons of civilians. It's not some noble chivalric joust in the sky. But the thing is, neither of those are the reason that we win wars historically. It's just stuff we do because we have to have a military to do something. We just destroy. Yeah. That's all it does.
And that was actually proven with the 8th Air Force during World War II. Like, they bombed the shit out of Germany, and it just didn't win the war. You still had to have the invasion. Yeah, the only thing was the atomic bomb, and that was
in concert with, you know, like, Soviet entry in the war, and like there's still
and the firebombing of Tokyo
going on. Because the promise of air power in World War II was, we're not going to have to invade Europe, and it never worked. And then during Vietnam, more bombs than during World War II, and we lost.
Well, yeah, no, we were talking about yesterday in the original Top Gun episode, like the scene where like they first come into the Top Gun program, and Michael Ironside's jester is giving them the spiel about the Top Gun program, and he's like, in Korea, our KD ratio was 12-1. In Vietnam, that went down to 3-1. But by the end of the war, we were back up to 12-1. It's like, oh, great job, asshole! Team, fuck all for winning the war.
Like, they were getting shot down. They were getting shot down by like Vietnamese Air Force planes.
And so I think
what are you bragging about? You're the United States military.
And also in Korea, when he bragged about that statistic, that is the highest per capita death rate war of the 20th century, all from bombing. It's like the I think I think almost every village in North Korea was like hit by a bomb during that war. It's so horrible.
But it was in many ways the coolest war from the standpoint of aerial dogfighting, because that is the one war where you have like peer-to-peer jet aircraft like dogfighting each other. And there were actual instances of U.S. Sabres having dogfights with Soviet jets over Korea. Like, that's the only point where we have like documented point-to-point conflict, hot war conflict between the U.S. and the Soviet Union in the air over Korea. So that was cool. Fucking
Wasn't
Ted
Ted
Williams was
Williams
doing that
involved?
shit.
Yeah,
Ted
Ted
Williams was
Williams.
doing that shit.
Teddy
He was a fighter
Baseball.
pilot
Yeah.
during the Korean War and World War II. And then,
Crazy.
yeah, had nothing to do with the war, though. We still ended up tying.
Well,
Not after
in the
murdering people for 3 years.
well, in the universe of Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, rest assured that our naval aviators get the job done. They're like rogue state, Iran,
Bye-bye.
bye bye. No civilian nuclear energy program. No cancer drugs. That bad boy goes bye bye. So yeah, like the mission isn't a success. As Matt alluded to, spoiler alert, you think Maverick sacrifices himself to save Goose's son Rooster, but then Rooster disobeys orders and saves Maverick. They both get shot down, and I was like, is the end of this movie just going to be them like tearfully on like a like a news photo, like on the news, just saying like, I have committed many crimes against the People's Republic. I've committed many crimes against the Islamic Republic. I should be punished. I wanted to apologize to my family and to the people of this rogue nation. And then they just get like tortured to death, and rightly so for their
See, now that would be a movie.
yeah.
End it with that.
No, but like they make sure to say that like, and they blow up the runway, but they're like, okay, but like we're gonna leave these hangars untouched because they have a lot of old antique planes. So Maverick and Rooster, they got to get the hell out of Dodge in the classic Top Gun original F-14.
I feel like
the
you could almost make an
Tomcats.
argument that like Tom Cruise actually died and it's all like a dream afterward with the F-14, because that's so ridiculous that they would have an F-14 from the original movie. Like, so it's actually like he's fantasizing about saving Goose's son and flying away from the F-14, because that makes more sense than him surviving that crash. That makes absolutely no sense.
For narratively, like the story makes sense if he sacrifices himself.
Right.
As it stands, there's a hilarious scene where after Goose Jr., what the
Rooster.
fuck? Rooster. Rooster comes back, shoots down a helicopter that is about to machine gun Tom Cruise after he's crash landed. Which, I'm sorry, they would absolutely take that guy as a prisoner of war. That would be a huge propaganda coup. They don't want to kill him. But it's like gonna blow him up with a minigun, and then of course, boom, disobeying orders. Rooster shows up and blows it up, and then he gets shot down. Tom Cruise runs over to him and knocks him over, and is like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And then they're just both standing there, and they're kind of like both angry at each other for a second because it doesn't make sense.
It sort of fits Rooster's arc because he's like too cautious. He's too like his whole thing is like in the beginning he doesn't fly fast enough. Like he's too much kind of inside the system, and Cruise is trying to get him to come out and do don't think, just fly. And this is like the culmination of that. Like he
It's supposed to be the
disobeys
passing
orders
of the
and
torch.
comes
Like,
back and blows this thing up. And
he is now Top Gun.
disobeying.
Like,
Yeah.
if the movie is about how Tom Cruise becomes Top Gun, this is supposed to be the story of how Rooster becomes Top Gun, but he can't.
Except he's not allowed to fly the F-14 when they leave.
Exactly. It's the way that the boomers are squatting on all of the accumulated wealth of the post-war era.
Right.
It's like,
right.
no, sorry, son. I'm holding on to this house. Fuck you. I'm holding on to this job. I'm not going anywhere, because that is
And
the
it's
defining
also- and it-
characteristic of like the post-spiritual America, is that you can't accept death because we don't have a common vocabulary to make sense of it. So instead, we have to deny it until we are destroyed from outside. And this movie, yes, like after the crash, it really is his dream. And then you have Miles Teller there, who is like the audience telling him to wake the fuck up. The young people saying, "Hey, snap out of it, Grandpa. You aren't supposed to be here."
Well, as I was talking about Rooster, I gotta say this is probably the first movie I've seen Miles Teller in where I've actually enjoyed him quite a bit. I was not bothered by Miles Teller
as usual.
I liked Rooster.
You've got to watch The Offer, Will.
Oh, okay.
He's terrible on that show. He is dreadful. He's trying to do. We said this with Molly Lambert. He's trying to do Don Draper, but like if he was only ever cool and not sad or pathetic at all. And so therefore is completely wooden. He is god.
Well, we got the real Don Draper in Top Gun
We got
Maverick.
the real Don Draper in this movie, like the malevolent force.
Yeah. And then I guess like just two things we haven't discussed in the movie. Briefly, Jennifer Connelly, single mother, owns a bar. Like her character is just sort of slotted in there as the just perfunctory love interest. I guess like she was a waitress at the bar back when Tom Cruise, like she was probably
No, no,
you know,
no. She was the
15.
admiral's
No,
daughter.
yeah,
She was the
they
admiral's
mentioned her in the
daughter.
first one.
Oh,
daughter.
right. That was the admiral's daughter.
They
Okay, I
mentioned
thought
that at the who she is.
okay.
Yeah.
I just thought she was some teenager that he had sex with back in the original era. Well, no.
Prove
But
that he wasn't gay.
I was okay. That makes more sense that she's an admiral's daughter because I just thought she was a single mother who was a bar owner that also owns like a 2-mast sailing vessel and a vintage Porsche. But okay, all you need to know about Jennifer Connelly, still 10 out of 10 smoke show, one of the hottest women of all
Oh my
time.
God.
It's unbelievably gorgeous. She's got it going on. And then finally, we got to talk about Val Kilmer.
Yes.
'Cause, you know,
yeah.
it was a very
Mango's ghost.
Yes, it was a very like a poignant moment in the movie where Maverick and Ice see each other again, and they make clear in the plot of the movie that Iceman is dying of cancer, and speaking words is very painful for him. And you know, this is of course referencing Val Kilmer's real life throat cancer that makes it very very difficult for him to speak. But you know, there's a moment